Now we want to get to this Fox 5 News alert. The arraignment of former President Donald Trump now just hours away.
He arrived in Florida last night to face a judge today, just days after federal prosecutors indicted him on charges of taking top-secret documents to Mar-a-Lago in a scheme they allege compromised national security.
Fox 5's chief legal correspondent, Katie Barlow, joins us now with what we can expect from today's hearing. Good morning to you, Katie, and I'll begin with that. What will we expect, and how will it be different from what we saw back in April in the New York hush money case?
Well, good morning to you both. And you're right, we have already kind of seen what this looks like in the New York case. This will be similar in several respects. It's an arraignment, and the purpose of that is for a criminal defendant to go before a judge, and for that judge to ask that individual, make sure they understand that the charges that are pending against them, what they mean, and then that individual pleads guilty or not guilty. The judge will ask former President Trump if he had a chance to review the charges with his lawyer, if he understands what they are, what exactly he's being charged with, and then he'll enter a plea. He'll go in for the booking process, as he did in New York. He is surrendering himself for purposes of arrest in this case after being charged. And all of that will happen inside a courtroom where, of course, cameras are not allowed. We got a late-night order from the court last night saying no audio, no cameras, no photographs, and no immediate release of any audio in the room. And any of the reporters who are in the room will not be able to have any devices or any cell phones with them as well. So all of that will happen inside the room, and then we'll be reliant on those individuals to come out and tell us exactly how it all went down.
All right, with a little bit of a delay as they rush back to get their phones so that they can share the news with everybody else. Legally, Katie, what do we expect as far as a defense for the president here, and when might we find out what happens, whether it's a motion to dismiss or any other type of defense mechanism that might be in play?
Well, we might get a little bit of strategy from both sides here today. We saw from Jack Smith during his few words that he's spoken since he was appointed special counsel that he's ready to go and he's going to ask for a speedy trial. Now, the key is there, the Speedy Trial Act, which allows you to move quickly to trial, really is a right that belongs to the defendant. The defendant can request a speedy trial. That's not up to the prosecution. So today we'll get a little bit of insight on how both sides plan to move forward and how quickly both sides plan to move forward. I would expect the government may come in today and say, look, Judge, we're ready to go by this trial date. We'd like to move forward quickly. The defense strategy may be to slow things down and to delay. Of course, we're barreling into election season, and 2024 is a presidential election year. So the big question here is whether this case will go to trial before November 2024 and whether the defense will push hard to delay past that time.
Any thoughts on a potential gag order even in this case, Katie?
So you bring up a potential gag order. That's something that a judge could impose on either party to say, look, you can't talk about this case, no comments about the other side, no social media postings. It's something we talked about during the New York case as well, based on President Trump's social media posts. It may come up today, but there's a very high bar here for an individual who is not only running for president, is the front runner for his party for president, and there's strong First Amendment protections in place. But it may be that prosecutors bring out President Trump's recent comments. He's taken to Truth Social to talk both individually about Jack Smith and members of Jack Smith's family. So we may get some insight today as to how prosecutors are approaching that. I wouldn't necessarily expect a gag order or a request for one out of the gate. But again, we'll get some insight on strategy from inside the room today.
All right, Katie, thanks very much. We'll catch up with you again soon. We'll turn it back over to Janelle.